Now, painting is usually seen as an art form that appeals only to our sense of sight, but the artist Gina Southgate is inspired by sounds and aims to capture music in her work. She paints to live music performance and will be in action tomorrow at the Match and Fuse Festival evening, painting on the parade with the Eric Tofter Big Band. Gina, to describe your work to someone who hasn't seen it, tell us what you'll be doing. What will people see when they see you tomorrow night?
They see me start with a completely blank canvas, usually quite large scale, so that the audience can actually see and engage in what I'm doing. I just then respond to what's in front of me, visually as well as orally, so I'm listening to the music whilst I'm painting.
There's no sort of, you don't go in there with a palette plan or anything like that, you just go and it's completely abstract?
I have a suitcase of paints and I know what's in my suitcase. Often it's very dark, and I know what I like using. I kind of get into certain colours at certain times, but I am looking at what's there too. And sometimes the colours are a surprise the next day because they're seen in the daylight.
Do you think you respond? I know there are certain people who have the condition where they think they can see colour and they can experience. Do you think you respond? Do certain colours come out when certain type of music's playing?
I think there is an element of that. I would be not telling the truth if I was to say yes, absolutely. But I think, you know, sometimes I could just paint the whole canvas black in a few minutes if the music's really, really energetic and out there. Yeah.
I was looking, one of yours is the full ensemble that I was looking at earlier, and I love the movement within that as well. Are you conscious of how much you're moving when you're putting this together?
I move, and with something I can see the full ensemble. That was actually a children's orchestra in Newcastle, in Harmony Orchestra in a school, and that was an unusual painting because it was done first thing in the morning, and normally I work at night, as I say, and there were lots and lots of small children to put on it and not want to miss anyone out. So that was almost mathematical. It was about a 20-minute piece, and I had to kind of go, oh yeah, well, there's all those cellos, there's all those brass instruments, and so on.
20 minutes. Well, so that, I mean, the classical music, the mathematical, to perhaps slightly more jazzy sounds. A. Witter-Johnson, someone else you've painted. Tell me about that work.
Ayana Witter-Johnson. Yeah. She played at Jazz in the Round, which is a residency that I do once a month at the Cockpit Theatre, and I just loved the way that she looked as well as her music, and she had a great presence. And when I finished the painting, which was a solo set for 20 minutes, I was really, really happy with the form of the cello and the form of her, but I really wasn't happy with how I'd painted her features. So for once, which is really unusual, I actually painted her in after from looking at images of her online, but I didn't copy anything. I just kind of developed the work a bit, which is really something I don't usually do because I always mess it up.
So really, a lot of your works you're doing, they just take a relatively short amount of time.
Yeah, I'm finding now that half an hour is a really good amount of time. 40 minutes is great. If I stretch out for the whole gig, an hour and a half, often it goes too far.
It's absolutely fascinating. Gina Southgate, a very efficient artist as well as a great one. Thank you very much for sharing your work. And you can see Gina tomorrow at the Match and Fuse Festival in Dalston. Do check that out. Now we're going to take a very quick break now.